All right, guys, welcome to Trail Ride Utah. I just wanted to hop on here and give my thoughts about the ride I just did. I'm up here in the beautiful mountains. My first ever ride on my CRF 250 RWE. This is the Works Edition. It's a motocross bike, obviously, but I wanted to try it up in the single track, see how it did. And I have some thoughts for sure. So overall, it's a great bike. I love it on the motocross track. I love it in the desert. Up here in the mountains, obviously it's a motocross bike. It does leave a little bit to be desired for sure. And I do wish that I was on my 350 while I'm riding it for sure. But it does have some pros to it as well. So the bike, out of all the bikes that I've ridden that are, 350, 250s and below, it is so unbelievably nimble. It is incredible, almost to a fault. It turns a little too well sometimes, so it can be a little bit difficult to keep it centered and on the trail, and it's a little bit finicky, I guess you could say is a good word. It's just really playful and kind of all over the place. So that's one thing, but it's so fun to go through the corners and kind of rail berms and things like that. It's just unbelievably fun to do that. The suspension, the Works Edition does have the upgraded coated suspension. It's so much better than the Yamaha. The FX250, the YZ250 FX. Husky and Yamaha kind of did the same thing there, but the YZ250 FX has really stiff and kind of harsh suspension where it deflects a lot, and it's tough to ride through chunky stuff. This bike, honestly, through chunky stuff was great. Like it doesn't deflect. It's really plush, absorbs things really well, and I really enjoyed the suspension. The suspension was great. It's not a single track suspension setup though, so for what it is, it's really good. Compared to my 350 though, the 350 is way better. It's just so much more planted up here and not as stiff, and it's just way better in every way. The power's great. It has great power. I was messing around with all the traction modes, and the power is great. The traction modes help a ton if you can figure out the right one for where you're at. I wish that it was more like the Yamaha, where you could put in the maps that you want, and then you know what you're selecting, rather than having these flashing lights that you have to figure out and you don't know what's going on. So it's good for what it is. It's just not as good as the Yamaha in that regard. And I'm going to be playing the ride in the background here while I talk, but overall I'm really impressed with it. For a motocross bike on single track, it does a good job. If I could only have one bike and I wanted to race motocross more than I wanted to ride single track, but I want to ride single track sometimes, this would be great. This would be a great option, and I would love this. If I only wanted to do if I wanted to predominantly race or ride single track and sometimes race motocross, I would pick the FX 350. And where the Yamaha has this beat is it has a better clutch and it has better brakes. And I think I like the Yamaha ergonomics a little bit better than this. This is just so playful. It's almost too much, almost too nimble, almost too easy to turn. It's not as planted as I'd like it to be. So that's where I'd pick the Yamaha. But this, I've loved this bike. It's so fun. It's so fun to ride, and I'm gonna keep it for motocross, obviously, but I just thought I'd give it a try up here and have some fun in the mountain single track on it and see how it did. So my thoughts would be final verdict between the three bikes, because I've been kind of testing and comparing a 2025 YZ 250 FX, a 2024 FX 350, the CRF, this is a 25 CRF 250 RWE, and then we've also been messing around on Cody's TX300. I am not a two-stroke guy, so I'm not even gonna put that in the mix for me, but they're great bikes, everyone loves them. But between the 3-4 strokes, I'd probably pick FX350, YZ250, then this, if I'm doing single track. I'm excited to try this versus the YZ on the motocross track. I know I like this more than the 350 on the motocross track, but I'm excited to compare the YZ and this on the motocross track and see how that goes. I know that I love this in the desert as well. So in the desert, I actually like this better than the YZ. But in the mountains, I'd pick FX350, YZ 250FX, then this. So those are my thoughts. Overall, really fun ride, fun bike to cruise around on. I'm not disappointed in my purchase at all with it because I know what I'm gonna use it for. I know that it's mostly gonna be used at the track, and I know that I love it at the track. So really happy with my purchase, just not a single track bike, and that's totally fine. But if you have this as your only bike, you definitely can ride it on single track and you will have a good time. It's more nitpicky at this point. It's more, you know, what are you used to? How do you like to ride? And for me, on the single track, FX350 is where I would lean. So great bike. Hope you enjoy the riding. I'll keep it playing in the background, but I just wanted to hop on here and give some thoughts and kind of let you know how I'm feeling. But yeah, enjoy the video and I'll be back with more later. hard that baby turns.